Welcome to the Health Inquiry. Have you ever wondered how a slice of pizza gives you the energy to sprint across a soccer field, laugh with your friends, or solve a tricky math problem? Inside your body, there are trillions of cells. Every single one of them is like a tiny, bustling factory. And just like a real factory, these cellular factories need power to keep their machines running. When you take a bite of pizza, your digestive system immediately goes to work breaking down the crust, cheese, and toppings into their tiniest chemical parts. The complex carbohydrates in the crust are sliced up by enzymes in your saliva, stomach, and small intestine, transforming them mainly into a simple sugar called glucose. This glucose is absorbed through the walls of your small intestine directly into your bloodstream and picked up by your cells. Once inside a cell, the glucose undergoes glucose metabolism to give you energy. This video will show you how glucose metabolism occurs and how you can make it run smoothly to keep you energetic and healthy. Let us dive in. The ultimate goal, making cellular cash, ATP. Your cells cannot use a piece of bread or a spoonful of sugar directly. The cell needs its energy delivered in a very specific, tiny package. That package is a molecule called ATP, which stands for Adenosine Triphosphate. Think of ATP as a tiny, fully charged, rechargeable battery. When a cell needs to do a job, like flexing a muscle or thinking a thought, it snaps off a piece of the ATP molecule, a part called a phosphate. This snap releases a tiny burst of pure energy. Once the energy is used, the battery is empty, and it's called ADP. The whole point of glucose metabolism is to take those empty ADP batteries and charge them back up into shiny, full ATP batteries. To make these ATP batteries from glucose, the factory uses three main zones. 1. Glycolysis. 2. The link reaction. And 3. The TCA cycle. Let's walk through each room one by one. Zone 1. Glycolysis, the sugar splitting room. Glucose is a sturdy little package shaped like a hexagon, and it contains 6 carbon atoms linked together in a tight chain. Glucose floats through your blood, knocks on the door of a cell, and is led inside. However, it hasn't reached the cell's main power plant yet. It is just floating in the general factory floor, a fluid area called the cytoplasm. The glucose molecule is too big and tough to go any further. It needs to be broken down. This first step is called glycolysis, which literally means sugar splitting. To split this tough sugar molecule, the cell actually has to spend a little bit of its own energy first. Think of this like buying a lottery ticket or investing money to start a business. The factory takes 2 full ATP batteries from its emergency stash and uses their power to chop the 6-carbon glucose right down the middle. Once the chop happens, the factory gets a massive return on its investment. The splitting of glucose releases enough raw energy to instantly charge up 4 new ATP batteries. Since the factory spent 2 ATPs but made 4 ATPs, it walks away with a net profit of 2 brand new shiny ATP tokens to spend immediately. The splitting of glucose doesn't just make ATP tokens. It also shakes loose some super high-energy passengers called electrons and hydrogen atoms. The cell doesn't want these valuable, energetic electrons floating away and causing trouble, so it sends out special energy dump trucks called NAD+. Think of NAD+ as an empty dump truck or an empty battery waiting to be charged. During glycolysis, 2 empty NAD+ trucks pull up to the split sugar, scoop up the high-energy electrons, and drive away as fully loaded heavy-duty energy trucks called NADH. We just created 2 loaded NADH trucks. These trucks are heading to a secret location later in the factory to be traded for a mountain of cash. Now, at the end of glycolysis, our original 6-carbon glucose molecule has been transformed. It is now 2 identical, smaller molecules that each contain 3 carbon atoms. These 3 carbon pieces are called pyruvate, pronounced pyruvate. Zone 2, the link reaction, the ticket booth. Now we have our 2 pyruvate molecules, but they are still sitting out on the main factory floor, the cytoplasm. The main power plant of the cell is a special bean-shaped building called the mitochondrion, plural, mitochondria. The mitochondrion is known as the powerhouse of the cell because it is where the most explosive energy generation happens. Pyruvate wants to get inside, but the mitochondrion has strict security guards. It won't let just any molecule walk through its gates. Pyruvate needs a VIP ticket to enter the powerhouse. This brings us to Zone 2, the link reaction, or pyruvate oxidation. Each 3-carbon pyruvate molecule approaches the gates of the mitochondrion. To get inside, it has to undergo a quick makeover. 1. The chop. A machine chops 1 carbon atom off the pyruvate molecule. 2. The exhaust smoke, CO2. This single carbon atom joins up with some oxygen and forms carbon dioxide, CO2. This is a waste product. The cell kicks it out into your blood carries it to your lungs, and you breathe it out into the room. 3. More loaded trucks. This chopping action releases more high-energy electrons. Another empty NAD+ dump truck rolls up, grabs the electrons, and drives off as a loaded NADH truck. Meeting coenzyme A. Now our pyruvate has been reduced from a 3-carbon molecule to a 2-carbon molecule, called an acetyl group. To make sure this 2-carbon molecule gets exactly where it needs to go, a special cellular helper molecule named coenzyme A, or CoA for short, comes over and hitches itself to the molecule. Together, they form a super important molecule called acetyl-CoA, pronounced UHSE-tool-CoA. Acetyl-CoA is the official VIP ticket. Because it has CoA attached, the gates swing open, and acetyl-CoA proudly marches into the very center of the mitochondrion powerhouse, a warm, fluid-filled space called the matrix. Zone 3. The TCA cycle, the magical merry-go-round. Welcome to the heart of the powerhouse. Now that acetyl-CoA is inside the mitochondrial matrix, it is ready for the main event, the TCA cycle, tricarboxylic acid cycle, which people also call the Krebs cycle or the citric acid cycle. Instead of a straight assembly line, think of this room as a magical chemical merry-go-round. The ride is constantly spinning, and molecules jump on, get transformed, drop off energy, and reset the ride for the next passenger. Step A. Hopping onto the ride. Waiting on the moving merry-go-round is a permanent resident molecule called oxaloacetate. Let's call it OAA for short. OAA is a 4-carbon molecule. Our incoming VIP ticket, acetyl-CoA, steps onto the ride. The helper, coenzyme A, detaches and runs back to the door to help more pyruvates. The remaining 2-carbon piece smashes together with the 4-carbon OAA. When you add a 2-carbon piece to a 4-carbon piece, you get a 6-carbon molecule. This brand new molecule is called citric acid. Yes, this is the exact same tangy, sour stuff found in lemons, limes, and oranges. Because citric acid is the very first thing created when the ride starts, scientists often call this the citric acid cycle. Step B. The first squeeze, releasing exhaust and filling trucks. As the merry-go-round spins, the 6-carbon citric acid gets shifted into a slightly different shape called isocitrate. Think of a transformer robot changing from a car to a robot. Same parts, just rearranged to get ready for action. Suddenly, the cycle chops off one of the carbons. Just like before, 2 major things happen. 1. The chopped carbon escapes as carbon dioxide, CO2, which you exhale. And 2. High-energy electrons fly off, and an empty dump truck grabs them, turning into a loaded NADH truck. Our molecule is now down to a 5-carbon molecule, alpha-ketoglutarate. Step C. The second squeeze. More exhaust, more cash. The ride keeps turning, and the factory squeezes the molecule a second time. Another carbon is chopped off. Once again, a molecule of CO2 gas floats away for you to breathe out. Another empty truck is filled up to become a loaded NADH truck. But there is a spectacular bonus during this step. The chemical reaction releases enough immediate raw power to grab an empty ADP battery and pop a phosphate back onto it, creating a single shiny token of instant cash. 1 ATP molecule. Technically, it makes a twin molecule called GTP first, which the cell immediately swaps for ATP. After this squeeze, alpha-ketoglutarate becomes succinate. Step D. Squeezing out the hidden energy. We are now left with a 4-carbon molecule succinate. However, this isn't our original starting piece, OAA, yet. It is still a bit twisted up, and it has some extra energy hidden deep inside its chemical bonds that the factory doesn't want to waste. To extract that final bit of power, the 4-carbon molecule goes through a final makeover. 1. The alternate dump truck. A different type of energy truck called FAD pulls up. It scoops up a slightly different flavor of high-energy electrons and turns into a loaded FADH R2 truck. 2. The water splash. The cell splashes a molecule of water, H2O, onto the molecule to soften its bonds and shift its shape. 3. The final charge. One last empty NAD+ truck rolls up, sucks up the remaining high-energy electrons, and drives away as our final loaded NADH truck. Back to the beginning. Guess what? After all that chopping, shape-shifting, and energy harvesting, our molecule has been stripped down and rebuilt back into oxaloacetate, OAA. The 4-carbon starting piece is exactly back where it began, completely refreshed and sitting on the merry-go-round platform. It is ready and waiting for the next acetyl-CoA molecule to arrive from Zone 2 so the ride can spin all over again. Counting the factory's treasure chest. Biochemistry can seem confusing because of all the big words, but if you focus on the treasure the factory collects, it makes perfect sense. Let's look at the inventory log for our factory. Remember, because one glucose molecule gets split into 2 pyruvates during glycolysis, zones 2 and 3 happen twice for every single sugar molecule you eat. Here is the total treasure gathered from one single glucose molecule. Zone 1. Glycolysis. The sugar-splitting process yields a net profit of 2 direct ATP energy tokens and fills 2 NADH electron dump trucks. Zone 2. The link reaction serves as a transition phase that generates no direct ATP tokens, but contributes 2 more loaded NADH trucks and releases 2 molecules of CO2 exhaust gas. Zone 3. The TCA cycle completes the harvesting process by generating 2 direct ATP tokens, a substantial haul of 6 NADH trucks, 2 alternate FADH2 trucks, and 4 molecules of CO2 gas. When combining every stage of the breakdown of a single glucose molecule, the factory achieves a grand total of 4 direct ATP tokens, 10 loaded NADH trucks, 2 alternate FADH2 trucks, and 6 molecules of CO2 waste gas. The grand finale. Where is the real power made? Looking at that scoreboard, you might think, hey, the factory did all that work and only made 4 direct ATP tokens? That doesn't seem like enough to let me run around and play. You are completely right. 4 ATPs is barely anything. But look at what else the factory gathered. A massive fleet of 12 loaded energy trucks, 10 NADH and 2 FADH2. These trucks are holding the real jackpot. They leave glycolysis, the link reaction, and the TCA cycle, and they all drive over to the inner wall of the mitochondrion powerhouse. Waiting for them on that inner wall is a giant molecular machine called the electron transport chain. Think of this machine like a magnificent microscopic water wheel powered by electricity. The trucks back up and dump their high-energy electron passengers into the machine. As the electrons cascade through the machine, their electrical energy powers a tiny spinning generator called ATP synthase. This generator spins like a lightning-fast whirlpool, snatching up empty ADP batteries and slamming phosphates onto them at blinding speed. This process is called oxidative phosphorylation. Every single NADH truck provides enough power to charge up about 2.5 ATP batteries. Every FADH2 truck can charge up about 1.5 ATP batteries. When you add up all the power from those 12 delivery trucks inside the electron water wheel, they generate a staggering 26 to 28 ATP batteries. If add the 4 direct ATP, complete burn of a glucose molecule yields a total of 30 to 32 ATP batteries. The breathing connection. Now, the entire story comes together in a beautiful loop. Think about why you are breathing right now. You breathe in oxygen. Why? Because oxygen is waiting at the very end of that electron water wheel to participate in the oxidative phosphorylation process. It acts as the final cleaning crew, grabbing the used-up electrons and combining with hydrogen to create harmless water, H2O. Without oxygen to clean up the end of the line, the water wheel jams, the trucks can't dump their cargo, the TCA cycle stops spinning, and the factory goes dark. And when you breathe out, the carbon dioxide, CO2, exiting your mouth is the literal exhaust smoke from the carbon atoms that were chopped off during the link reaction and the TCA cycle. The next time you eat a snack, take a deep breath or sprint down a hallway, take a second to thank the incredible, spinning, sugar-chopping factory operating inside your cells. It is the ultimate engine of life, turning your food into the spark that keeps you alive. What if the energy factory goes wrong? Our cellular power plants are incredibly efficient, but just like real-world factories, things can sometimes go wrong on the assembly line. If a machine breaks down, a room loses power, or the delivery trucks get backed up, it can cause serious problems for the entire body. Here is what happens when glucose metabolism hits a glitch. The sugar traffic jam. Diabetes. The most common factory error happens before glucose even gets inside the cell. Normally, when glucose enters your blood, a special hormone called insulin acts like a key that unlocks the cell doors to let the sugar in. In a condition called diabetes, either the body doesn't make these keys, type 1, or the cell door is rusty and refuse to unlock, type 2. Because the gates stay shut, glucose gets backed up in the bloodstream like a massive traffic jam, while the cellular factories inside sit empty, starving for fuel. This is why people with diabetes can feel incredibly tired even though they have plenty of sugar floating in their blood. Missing factory blueprints. Inborn errors of metabolism. Sometimes a person is born with a mistake in their genetic instruction manual, meaning their cells are missing a specific machine component needed in one of the zones. These are called inborn errors of metabolism. 1. Pyruvate dehydrogenase deficiency. In this condition, the cellular machine responsible for the CHOP in the Zone 2 ticket booth is broken. Because the cell cannot properly turn pyruvate into acetyl-CoA, the pyruvate builds up and turns into a toxic substance called lactic acid, while the TCA cycle merry-go-round grinds to a painful halt from a lack of fuel. TCA cycle defects. If any of the specific shape-shifting enzymes on the TCA merry-go-round are missing, the ride jams. Without a smooth spin, the cell cannot fill its fleet of NADH dump trucks, causing a severe drop in the final ATP energy payout. The ultimate power outage, mitochondrial diseases. Because the mitochondria act as the ultimate powerhouse of the cell, any breakdown in their inner machinery leads to a group of conditions known as mitochondrial diseases. When the inner wall of the powerhouse is damaged, the TCA cycle is impaired, the electron transport chain water wheel can't spin properly. The loaded trucks arrive but have nowhere to dump their high-energy electrons. Since these factory errors mean the cell can only make the 2 tiny ATP tokens from glycolysis instead of the grand total of 30 to 32 ATP batteries, the body experiences a massive power outage. This breakdown impacts the most energy-hungry parts of your body first, causing muscle weakness, extreme fatigue, and problems with brain power, showing just how vital our microscopic energy wheels truly are to keeping us alive. Last words, fueling the factory, your ultimate health compass for peak energy. To keep your cellular energy factories spinning smoothly and prevent common breakdowns like a sugar traffic jam, you can optimize your daily lifestyle choices. Consistently fueling your body with complex carbohydrates, such as whole grains and vegetables, ensures a steady, manageable delivery of glucose into your bloodstream rather than a sudden, overwhelming flood. Pairing your nutrition with regular physical activity acts like a natural lubricant for your cell doors, keeping them highly sensitive to insulin keys so glucose can easily enter the factory floor instead of backing up in your blood. Additionally, getting plenty of restful sleep and managing stress protects your mitochondria from excessive wear and tear, ensuring that the inner powerhouse walls remain sturdy and ready to convert delivery trucks into pure energy. By prioritizing clean nutrition, active movement, and proper rest, you give your body's microscopic water wheels the perfect environment to efficiently turn your food into a continuous, vibrant spark of life. Thank you for tuning in. If you want to continue exploring the deep science of health, happiness, and longevity, make sure to hit that subscribe button for the Health Inquiry.